it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie Podcast. Bumping through your broadcast, grab a chair, fill your glass.
Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie Podcast. On this Wednesday evening, tonight's guest is Faith Rivera, one of the most outstanding young ladies I have met over the years, and I've been friends with her mom and dad for many, many years since we were at the young age, and I just couldn't help but have her on the Really Charlie Podcast so we could talk about a few things. So without further ado, my friend Faith Rivera, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Nice to hear from you, and I'm glad you're on this podcast. It's an honor to have you on here.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on here.
Yeah, we actually we got a comment on YouTube already.
Really?
And it says this is from Ministry Before Industry, and it says, I remember Skippy growing up. He was a good dude. What happened? Oh, it's such a tragedy and a loss. So, but we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about that. But I want to talk about what you have on your mind. What's going on?
Well, it's really important to me, to bring awareness about suicide because, obviously I just lost my dad to suicide, and, I've actually suffered from poor mental health myself in the past, and I've had attempts of my own.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just a few things I want to talk about. There's just so much stigma and some of the causes and some warning signs. And I have a lot of resources too. But suicide is the second cause of death in the world. And
wow.
Yeah, I did a lot of research, but I had no idea it was number 2, but it's one of the highest leading causes of death because so many go untreated due to like social stigma and prejudice. It's hard to go get mental health help. Well, I've struggled with it for a long time myself, and it's not easy.
No, it isn't. It isn't. I think in some point in my life, I thought about it, and I am very, very surprised that I made it through. And you never know what's going on with people.
No.
And it definitely was something that, I was very, very surprised that I made it through, but I did. And so the stigma is real. It's so real. And I think even though, back when I was growing up, it was mainly, religious based. People just didn't want that. And it was you were looked down upon, like it is a stigma. And now it's really it's really something that that's out there. And I've seen some very, very talented and very educational and smart people didn't expect anything to happen, to them or them to go through it, and they actually went through it. And but I got quite a few comments. We got Anna saying, so sorry for your loss. So glad both are doing this broadcast, and I had my struggles. I'll put it on the screen here so I can read it better. I had my struggles with my whole life and have lost many, many family members from this issue. Thank you. Blessings.
Thank you.
And Mr. Carter, James Carter says, I feel her Charlie, you worked with my brother Ernesto, and you know what happened to him. There are signs, but being thousands of miles away leaves one helpless, which is true. And that was a very dear friend of mine, like your dad was, and he was going through some things too.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that were able to help you through this? Through dealing with it on your own. As far as when you were contemplating suicide, and what were some of the things that you did?
Well, I mean, I'm actually doing very well right now. I'm doing my therapy. I'm taking my medication as prescribed and doing everything. And I'm also sober, actually. So
God
those things
bless.
all help greatly. But I don't know. I just was in a very depressed state. I was drinking a lot. I
Yep.
wasn't taking my medication, and I actually last July I jumped out of a second floor window and I fractured my neck, my spine, and I broke my collarbone.
Wow.
So I was in the hospital for a month, and a few months after that, I took a bottle of lithium, and I went into kidney failure, and you know, I was in the hospital again, and I mean, I guess I'm here for a reason, But
Yep.
today I don't feel suicidal. I haven't, and I'm happy. Besides losing my dad, obviously that's so very traumatic for
Hmm.
me. But I'm happy. I have no complaints. I'm very blessed. I have a wonderful family. I have good support. Um, so yeah, I'm very blessed. I just want to bring awareness and help someone else because no one should ever have to feel that way.
Yes. So, I was glad last week when I talked to a friend of ours. I talked to Little Flip, and he was telling me about getting you on here, and I said, "Yeah, I need to get her on here." So, but got a comment from Daniel Dutra. He says,
Mm.
as someone who has known Faith for over 20 years, extremely proud of where she is today, and to make it, and to take on this role to be the voice of the voiceless to spread awareness. Which, in Daniel, I agree with you, and Faith, you are taking a huge step because it's very, very important, because even though we're here on this podcast and there's people viewing this, and we're not aware of what's going on with them, and we may just they may be on their phone or on their laptop or just kind of listen to us right now, and you may trigger some emotions, um, not in a bad way but in a good way, to say, hey, I need some help. And
Yeah,
it's very, very important. The I've dealt with it. I mean, for when I was on the job, and there was always, once, probably twice, three times a week, someone on the job was dealing with someone that had some suicide thoughts, and or there was someone reaching out to us from the family or friends and say, hey, I think my friend isn't right. I think my sister isn't right. I think my brother isn't right. My mom's not right. My dad's not right. And those are some great people, because one of the part of the problem is people not speaking out to say, hey, my friend needs help. My family needs help. And when you do that, when you speak out, it brings attention to it, and it brings some attention that where someone can actually help out, because sometimes you need to know, or you need to hear some things that your family and friends are saying, but you need to hear it from a stranger, from another mouth, to say,
yes,
hey, you know what, maybe they are right. I need to do this. I need to do the right thing. So um, I want to spread the word to everyone that there's a national number that you can
Yes.
call, so similar to 911 or 411. You can dial 988, and that will get you to the national hotline. And if you just want to talk about it, or you want to actually, you know, say something that someone else may be going through something, you can dial that 988 number and
Yes.
talk to people.
You
Yep.
can also text 741-741.
You see
Um,
that? Let me do that.
yeah.
Text 741-741.
Yes, I have so many resources for that, which I'm going to post on my page later on, for anyone who needs them. Because yeah, I have a lot of resources. And I have warm lines, hotlines. A warm line is actually um, before crisis, like to help prevent the crisis. And the hotlines are in crisis. So I have both of those that I'm going to post for people
Hmm.
if they need that.
It's interesting. First time I heard that.
Yeah.
First time. Um, let's see. Got Marianne Kerrigan saying great information, and of course it is. The I One thing I helped what helped me way back when I was a teenager was later on I kept a journal,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it was good for me because when I
It's very
was,
therapeutic.
yeah, and I'm glad that I was able to do that, and now I kind of use my poetry, writing poetry. I use that as therapeutic, um, and get me through things or make me think about things. Back then when I was actually going through my contemplation, I was actually not thinking. I didn't have anything to think about. I mean, I didn't have no go to. I was just dwelling on it, and then boom, it just happened. And thank God that He was able to keep me on this great earth, because if that had went through, I would never have the family I have. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have met people like you in this world. So
Same. I didn't have a plan. I didn't think about it. It just like happened, you know. So that's a
true.
scary thing, to not even have a plan. It's not like I planned it out. It's just I something in my head told me to jump and I did it, and it's a really scary thing.
Yeah, it is. Um, Especially like I think I wasn't scared during the process. I was more scared after it. That's when
Yes.
it was really hit me, and so and then it was like wow, wow, and actually I never really talked about it until years later. So it still was sitting inside of me, until later on, I was able to talk about it and discuss it with family, and kind of just get a give them an understanding of what I was going through back then.
Yeah, and it's healthy to talk about, to get it off your chest, and maybe people will understand a little better, you know because people don't understand it. People, that's why there's so much stigma too, because like, it's known as the silent epidemic right now.
Yes, I agree.
um, Epidemic, which is crazy. But
Now, you don't have to mention names, but I who's your go-to? You know, you got to have a couple of go-to people that you should
I
be
do.
able to reach to, and you don't have to mention names, but do you have someone that you go to?
I do, most certainly I do. Yes.
Yeah, and now you have actually probably been a mentor for many people that you come across. Are they still reaching out to you?
Yeah, actually, um, my friend yesterday came by, picked me up, wanted to talk
Yeah.
real quick because he was suicidal himself. And, I talked to him for a few minutes.
Yep.
And another friend of mine, it seems like a lot of people are reaching out to me, maybe because they know what I've gone through and what I'm going through, and with my dad and with myself, and so I think they feel comfortable talking to me, and getting I don't know.
Getting that advice, that
Yeah.
expertise. Hold on, I'm gonna close this window. Hold on, 1 second. It's one thing living in the city. You get your
Yeah.
sound effects. Um, so it did. What was when you were thinking about coming on this podcast? Was it was you still nervous? Was you still reluctant about it? Was you hesitant?
I was not hesitant, but I was a little nervous just because I'm shy, and to talk about something so deep live is it's tough, but it's also very helpful, you
Hmm.
know. So
True.
I just think it's something people need to hear. Like I said, it's known as the silent epidemic because people are embarrassed, to have a mental illness. And 90% of the people who kill themselves, they do have a mental illness. And the other 10% may not have been diagnosed or mistreated.
Hmm. It, um, one thing I've come across was almost. I think the numbers are pretty close to like 65 to 70% of the people in this country are taking a one pill or more on a daily basis. As
Wow.
far as medication.
Yeah,
It's
that's another thing too. The certain medications could have some side effects that cause suicidal thoughts. I mean, there's several things. The depression is number one, but the like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, PTSD, borderline personality disorder, the dual diagnosis, the substance abuse, that's horrible,
hmm
because it can either be you have bad mental health and then you self-medicate with the drugs and that causes more problems, or you are using drugs and you end up having bad mental health. So, it could go both ways.
exactly, exactly. The I mean, I always like one of the things I thought that was on my bucket list growing up was to be a counselor. It was something that I always wanted to. I thought about it, and I said I need to do that. I need to do that. I like listening. Um, Not knowing that police work was pretty much like being a counselor. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that you when you're in that position in that profession, you have, I mean, almost 100% of the time, you're actually guiding people in a direction to get some help. Um, and I didn't know that that's what I was going to actually be doing until I got on the job. And you realize that people call you for anything and everything,
Mm.
um, whether it's to talk to the kids, to talk to someone in their family, to talk to a stranger, to deal with a stranger, or a neighbor or something like that. So um, I should write a book, but I think
Yes, you
it's going to be too long. It's going to take
should.
me forever. So the now going through this, recently with your dad, it kind of hit the community pretty hard. Um, and don't you know that when I ran for mayor, he came a couple of times, wanting to support me. Um, always saying good things, always trying to encourage people to get out there and vote. Um, and then, late, I went through a stage where I seen him walking around, pretty healthy, give me a nice hug, and then the next time I seen him, he was in a wheelchair. And it devastated me.
Yeah.
So, and I
He
don't
fell
know.
under so many categories, like so many, not just with the mental health and the substance abuse, but the physical, um, long-term illness that really,
Hmm.
really, really, that's, that, so physically, mentally, and emotionally, he was hurting really bad, you know, and he just couldn't take it anymore. And he's been telling me this for a long time, and he pretty much prepared me. I mean, on Father's Day, I had taken him out, and he spoke to me, and he told me, what his plan was, and what he was gonna do, and how he was gonna do it, and what I needed to do. And I said, Dad, I said, I don't want to talk about this right now. I said, I'm not even gonna be in the right state of mind if that
Hmm.
happens. So I don't
Yeah.
want to. He's like, well, you're going to have to, Faith, and that's what I did. Everything that he said, he did, and you know, he kind of prepared me, but still didn't, because there's no way you can prepare for that,
No, no.
you know.
There's you can't prepare your body, your mind, your soul how to
Yeah,
act when it comes to things like that. It there's no way of controlling it. And so when you get hit in the heart like that, the heart is just going to erupt,
yeah,
and whether it's whether it's good, bad, and ugly, the heart will. There's no controlling it. It's just gonna
yeah.
it's gonna go in all kinds of directions. So,
I'll tell you
um,
what, I'm pretty heartbroken, but I'm relieved. I'm relieved for him that he's not suffering anymore like that, because I
mhm.
seen him. I know. And I also am a lot like him. I have a lot of the same, health issues, or should I say mental health issues, and I understand him. We were very close, and I understood. So
And that's
yeah.
that is it's when you say that, you have some things that you're dealing with, and similar to what he was going through. The one thing that you know with your dad is that smile, including you. You're the same way. When people confront you, you're gonna give that smile. You're gonna give that genuine, hug and concern for the next person. But however, we just don't know what he might be thinking. I know I spoke to a couple of people, your relatives, about some things, uh, and they all tried their best. They were all trying to make sure that he was right. And
Yeah.
but I just wanna let you know that he prepared you. He prepared you for the right reasons, because he did know how dear you was to him. So, and I want to commend you for thinking, that he is in the right place. He is relieved. He is not
Yeah.
suffering anymore. Don't ever think that there was something more you could do, because there isn't.
I wish there was, but there really wasn't. I'd
Mhm.
like to think that there was. It could have helped him. I could have brought him to church. I could have done all types of things, but he had been in several psychiatric hospitals. He had plenty of people around that loved him and cared about him and be there for him to pick up the phone and talk to. And I know that you can have a handful of people that you can talk to. And really, when you're feeling those feelings, you actually feel so alone and you feel like you don't have anybody in the world to talk to, no matter what. Like, even when you do.
I agree. I really do. I agree.
Because I have good people in my life. I have great people in my life that I know that I can talk to if I needed to, or if I'm feeling down again, or if I, you know, feel any type of way. And when I experienced, my attempts, I literally felt I actually was at a hotel by myself and I couldn't think of one person that I could pick up the phone and call. And I
Mhm.
didn't have the resources that I have now. I didn't know about any of these warm lines, hotlines, this number, that number, this, you know what I mean? I didn't know about any of that. But since my dad has passed, I've done a lot of research and I really want to help people. It's important to me.
Yeah. Did you think about creating a podcast yourself?
That would be great. That would be fun. But
Yeah.
no, I haven't. No.
The other thing is, there's a blog that you can do if you're very comfortable with doing blogs. There's so many other things you can do. But I know you're headed in the right direction, and keep doing what you're doing. But I like the way you're explaining everything on this podcast. Since we've been on, and those are kind of the people that you know I needed back then. I needed someone with a voice, or some kind of empathy to just to listen. And so you keep listening, and they're gonna keep coming out to you.
Yeah, that's great. There's also this app. It's called There Is Hope. That's a really nice app too for people. It's very helpful. Um,
It's called There Is What?
there is hope.
All right. All right.
You can also, for people who are too embarrassed to like reach out and talk to somebody or go to a doctor right away, there's free screenings, mental health screenings that you can take online.
Hmm.
Um, there's one at www.mhamd.org. And that's not to diagnose you or anything, but it kind of like a soft diagnosis, um, before maybe that would encourage someone to actually go to the doctor
Mm-hmm.
or say, hey, maybe I do have something wrong. It's just all it is chemical imbalances, and it's nothing bad. It's nothing. If you have cancer, you have to take medication. If you have diabetes, you have to take medication. If you have an imbalance, you have to take medication. So
True. True. The
it's nothing to be
and
embarrassed about.
no, and it's one thing about technology. You can get help with almost anything. And all it is basically just putting that information inside. And now, don't get me wrong. I don't want everybody to be going on the internet look for everything, because not everything's good.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with something, you know, that has a good reputation. And
Mhm.
but you can get caught up sometimes talking to the wrong people. But I
Mhm.
honestly feel that, when it comes to screening different things, you can definitely, there's many, many, especially in our city, there's, our area, there's just so much out there. And sometimes they knock the area and there's nothing here, but there's so many things here. So do you
Yeah.
mind if I put a picture of your dad up here?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, let's see. Let's go
Oh,
ahead and eventually I like to get a lot of, me and some of his friends and kind of share some Bay Village stories about him.
yeah. Well,
I
speaking of a village, I actually put together a little memorial for my dad with a poster board with pictures, and I put resources on there as well with a cross and some candles, and it was ruined twice. And so
It was,
it was. Oh, I love that picture.
yeah, I like that.
When I went to see him in California, I had such an amazing trip.
That
He
was
was healthy and sober there
hmm
and happy.
I actually remember that when he went there. This is one of my favorite ones right here.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and this is a long time
Mhm.
favorite
Yeah.
because when I seen him, that's how he was looking, just like that.
Yeah. So handsome.
Yeah, he is. You um, feel free if you do make up any kind of collage with him. Again, you know, f- take a picture of it and I'll put it on the Bay Village page that I keep track of. And
Okay.
and
Thank
that way it will be forever lasting, and it will always
you.
be there.
Yeah, because
Um,
I was so hurt when I went by, and when I went back, it wasn't even up for a whole day, Charlie. Like
yeah,
I went a few hours later, it was messed. The candles were messed up. I fixed them, and then I went back 3 hours later, and the board was down, the cross was down, the candles were broken. There was wax. Like somebody, like that is so hurtful and disrespectful to do. You know what I mean? It wasn't meant to bother anyone. It was meant to help someone.
yeah. Well, we can. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of artistic people in this area that can kind of do something. You know, even if it's drawing something with all the things that you were thinking about. Where did you put it in the Bay Village?
I put it in um between the basketball court
Hmm.
and the apartments.
Okay.
The tree, the big tree, right at the
Yeah.
end of the basketball court.
Okay.
Because they know that's the. I don't know exactly what apartment he grew up in, but I know it was that over there. So I just figured, everybody in that neighborhood loves Skippy. But it's different times. It's like a lot of the
Yeah.
kids nowadays didn't know him, and you know.
Yeah. I actually know what apartment. Him, your grandmother, your uncles. So I don't know. Maybe I'll come up with something and I'll create it and then I'll show it to you and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
But yeah. So the you got a big family on both sides.
Yeah.
Your family is like it's a big family tree on both ends,
Yeah.
both sides.
Bigger on my father's side, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's it's crazy. They talk to you about all the football games and they used to have behind the Bay Village before
Yes.
the
And
yeah.
stealing the equipment.
Yeah. So that is that that is something you would that would just listening to that with him, his boys all talking
Mhm.
about it. You know, I get a
That was
taste
one
of
of his favorite stories. He
yeah,
always talked about that. Because I guess somebody forgot to paint the helmet or something. That's how it's caught.
Yeah, I should have reached out to Paul Paris and Scott Jenkins and had them share some stories with us. But all
Yeah.
right, the let's see. As far as everything that you had to excuse me, as far as your dad and coping with what was going on with him, is there anything else that you're trying to do that you didn't succeed in? Maybe something you're trying to get accomplished for him or for yourself. If there is, just let me know and I'll try to help out as best I can.
Thank you. I mean, I'm doing, like I said, very well right now. And I just want to stay that way. I'm just staying strong for him. I know that's what he wants. I know that he's here with me all the time.
Hmm.
Um, so I just want to maintain my sobriety and my mental health because, you know, it's tough. It's tough. I can't function, when I'm not taking care of my mental health. Like, I cannot
Hmm.
take care of anything else in this world if I do not take care of my mental health.
True.
It's number one to me. That has to
That's
come
it.
first.
Yeah, it has to. Um,
Mhm.
I'm glad you're thinking like that, because self self care is very, very important.
Yes.
And a lot of us don't do it. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you're able to do it. I'm glad you're able to, you know, keep on not straight and narrow, just keep on a good path, and feel free. You got my number, so you can call me anytime, and talk to me like you would talk to anybody else. You're a grown woman, and you
Mhm.
want to talk about something, you just talk about it. Call me and trust me, if I'm getting a call from you, I definitely gonna stop everything and listen to you because
Thank you.
all right. The is there anything you wanted to add or leave with everybody that's listening to us?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about some potential, like, some warning signs. Um if you notice someone is experiencing like severe sadness or moodiness or any like unexplained rage, if they talk about feeling hopeless and um sleep problems is big. uh Being
Yep.
withdrawn from your social circle or whatever.
Hmm.
Changes in your personality or appearance. uh, Dangerous self-harm behavior. uh, Also, someone who's gone through some recent traumatic or life crisis. And
So
like I was saying before, medications and side effects have been known to cause people to have suicidal thoughts too. So
yeah,
if you just started taking the medication and all of a sudden you start experiencing suicidal thoughts, like, you should probably go to your doctor immediately and let them know. You know, um,
exactly. I I like that. I'm gonna put this 30-second video up that I was able to get, and that way it um, just bear
well,
with me 1 second.
yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and all right, hold on 1 second. Start it from the beginning. I'm sorry. Good. I just had to put that up there because,
Nice.
yeah, that way, later on, if someone's viewing this or looking at it, they can, just like you said, just you happen to mention it, there is hope. There is hope app, and that's the website. And,
Mhm.
everyone has a phone in their hand. They can text or do whatever. And sometimes that's the easiest way, just to text
Yeah.
someone. And when you're seeking help,
I've been seeing that now, and whether it's online or even on TV, there was the first time I ever heard it was about keeping your guns safe because of suicide, and it's
mhm,
funny because yeah, more than half of suicides are done with a gun, and I hadn't seen any of those commercials like prior to me losing my father. It's
mm,
like I'm only just starting to see these and be, aware. So
yeah. Sometimes what happens, it's sort of like this. Sometimes we don't catch things because
yeah,
we're not aware of it. So imagine this: you buy a black Honda, you got black rims, black tinted windows, um, and you say nobody's got this, nobody's got this. Oh, this is so nice. And then when you start driving around and you see so many cars that look like yours, you're just like, what?
yeah,
You just wasn't aware of it. It just kind of and when you talk about different commercials, um, we just don't some things don't attract us, or don't get our attention
yeah,
until something sort of tragically happens, or something happy that happens, like buying a car, and then you
yeah.
start noticing it. Faith, I got one question that I ask all my guests, and this question is, who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
Hmm. Um, I don't, I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
All right. Well,
I'll
you think
definitely.
about it and you send me a message, or you know, either through Messenger, or text me, whatever. But if you think about someone, let me know. And it may be someone that has a story similar to yours that wants to come on here.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I put them on. So, uh, all right, my friend. I really appreciate you taking the time and adding the Really Charlie podcast to your day, your night.
Thank
This is
you.
this is very good, and it will be on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Anchor, and Spotify. I'm going to continue to play this. I may talk to you in a couple of months. At the end of this month, I'll be on Fireside, which is another platform
Yeah.
that goes all over the place, and so there may situations that we just talked about may come up, and I may need to do something for a quick 30 minutes, and I might call you and reach out to you. Okay.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Charlie.
All right, Faith. Good luck. You got my number. You know who I am. You can
Okay.
call me anytime. All right.
Thank you. Take care.
God bless. Thank care.
God bless you.
All right. All right, everyone. That was a great guest, and she reached out to me and said, "Yeah, we got to do this," and I'm glad. And some mutual friends out there that I was also able to talk to about Faith coming on here, and they were excited about it. And the reason why we were excited about it is because we know she's shy. She's to herself, and for her to get on here and talk, especially about a situation that affected her life and her family, is that's thumbs up, all the way for her. And I am so glad she came on, but it won't be the first and it won't be the last time that she comes on here, because I'm going to surely need her guidance, her input, and to help out many others. And if you're out there and that you have something going on in your life, please reach out to all the different things that the text numbers, 741-741. You can do that. You can dial or text 988. Feel free to just put the app on your devices and talk about your situation. It's not easy, but that's the first step to being a better person and getting your health in better, in a better way, a better, wellness. All right, everyone. I'll see you next Wednesday. I have quite a few guests coming up. You're going to see me periodically, well, not periodically, routinely. And I got some outstanding guests coming up. So, all right. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook, StreamYard, Anchor, Spotify, LinkedIn, and momentarily, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, I'll be on Fireside, a new platform. All right, everyone. I'm going to end with my favorite song from Lionel Peter Walker. And let's see. I want to say God bless, stay blessed, and I'll see you next week. And don't forget to tune in to WMB1 Radio all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days out of the week. Put the app on your devices, Apple or Android, and we got a new website up there. So put the website in your browser and go ahead and check out the DJs on WMB1 Radio. As I say on Tuesday, serving you R&B music on the rocks. Chilled music with chilled hosts, where you get to listen to the music you love the most on WMB1 Radio. That's a free commercial. Thank you for supporting the Really Charlie podcast. God bless.
It's the Really Charlie podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Bumping through your broadcast. Grab a chair, fill your glass. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yo, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Yeah, it's the Really Charlie podcast. Bumping through your broadcast. Grab a chair, fill your glass.